Hello. So it is Sunday evening. I did some planning to get ready for this week, and now I have a couple hours before I need to go to sleep to do things. So this is the last week in January, kind of a half January, half February week. Mostly what is happening is I am going to try to do like a reset this week because this past week was atrocious for like my state of being. Obviously these are all very like superficial problems compared to a lot of things in the world right now, but I have been doom scrolling a lot. My screen time is truly a jump scare, and so I am setting some screen time limits for myself. I have Instagram set for an hour right now and Reddit set for 15 minutes. Reddit was set for like a minute or something like that because I really didn't want to be on Reddit at all, but there's something that I need to check occasionally, so we will see whether that needs adjusted, and hopefully I will actually adhere to that. But I'm also going to try to do some more physical activity. I've been working on that the past couple weeks. I joined a gym. I have not yet been to the gym, but you know, baby steps. And I am going to track my language learning time this week just to get back into the swing of it. I haven't not been doing things in languages. I definitely have, but I can tell that I'm not doing nearly as much as I was, and it's not for lack of wanting to, it's just that I instead have been staring at my phone for hours. And when I have been doing things, it hasn't been as enjoyable, as focused, you know, it's more just been like turning YouTube videos on in the background and stuff like that. So anyway, I am still reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I started in my last vlog, the dabbling vlog. I am down to 2 languages. I'm only going to finish it in Portuguese and French, and so I left my checklist somewhere, but I think I've done 7 chapters in both of those, so I have 10 more chapters to go. So I really want to finish that before the month turns, because after February starts, we will be doing book clubs for the Patreon, and I actually want to do the same thing for the book club, for the multilingual book club in February. So we're reading the first Hunger Games book, and I want to read it in French and Portuguese. I am also reading these 2 books in Spanish. I don't know if I will finish either or both of these in time for the Spanish book club, or if I will have to just replace one of these or whatever. But yeah, I'm rereading this book in Spanish, which I've read before in English. In English, it's called My Brilliant Friend. I'm like 15% in maybe, and then pretty much the same with Nada. This one smells good. I am back on my listening to Radio Ambulante. Want to finish 2020, the episodes for 2020 this week, and then do 2021 for February. Anyway, I've got lots of plans. We will see how they go. But yeah, I have about 3 hours left tonight, so I think I'm going to do 2 chapters of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in each language, and then split up the rest of my reading time somehow. Hello. So it is Monday evening, night. It's 8 p.m. I just got distracted, but before that I was doing pretty well. I came home, took a shower, did a little bit of physical activity, and that sounded so weird. I'm going to try to read before bed. My screen time is doing okay. Not great, but okay. If you remove Google Maps from the time, I'm at 6.5 hours, which, believe it or not, is an improvement over last week. So, you know, we're baby steps. We're gonna get better every day, hopefully. So as far as my other things that I was trying to do this week, I listened to 2 episodes of Radio Ambulante today. So not like, you know, wildly great, but not nothing either, so let's count those. So I have 8 more in the season to finish over the next 2 days. Hopefully we'll be able to accomplish that. I'd like to do 2 chapters in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna have time if I want to read anything else tonight, so I think I'm gonna do 1 chapter. I did get My Brilliant Friend on ebook so that I could read it at work more easily, because I just throw this in my bag. But also, I probably want to read My Brilliant Friend at the gym if I make it to the gym this week, while I'm walking on the treadmill or something. We shall see. I also walk around at work, just laps on my lunch if it's really, really cold outside and I want to walk. It's actually been really good. As long as I can successfully hide from people, it's been a really good way to stretch out and not just sit down all day if I'm stuck in the office. So anyway, I'm gonna get busy and hello. So it is Wednesday evening. Yesterday was a little bit crazy. Things got out of hand and I did not do very much studying, but I did do, 45 minutes of Radio Ambulante and 30 minutes of reading My Brilliant Friend. So just an hour and 15 minutes total. Then today, so far, I have almost exactly the same thing. I read My Brilliant Friend for a little while over my lunch and 45 minutes again of Radio Ambulante. So I am almost done with 2020. I think I only have 4 episodes left of the 2020 episodes, so hopefully I will finish those tomorrow. I did really want to finish The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in French and Portuguese before February started. It's January 31st, and I have an hour and a half left to go in each, so that's not going to happen. I would maybe like to try to finish it in Portuguese tonight. I think maybe sticking with one language would be easier to finish, but also it is already 8:10, so I don't know if my brain is going to be able to handle an hour and 45 minutes of Portuguese. I definitely don't see myself having time tomorrow because I am supposed to babysit, so I am not doing that much this week, and it's really frustrating to me, and part of it is just mental. I've mentioned this I think in other videos, but there's a lot going on at work and stuff. My brain just has trouble staying focused the rest of the time. My brain is you can have 30 minutes. I'll give you 30 minutes. Hello! So it is Sunday evening. I feel like I haven't said anything, given any updates in ages. This weekend was just doing stuff, hanging out with my partner, so I did do quite a lot of language stuff yesterday. Well, it was mostly reading, so it kind of felt like a lot because over 3 hours of just reading, more than I had been doing for sure. So updates, I did finish The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in Portuguese, so my first Portuguese book finished ever. As I've said before, I do understand Portuguese much better than French at this point, purely because of similarity to Spanish. Like, they are just much more mutually intelligible. I do know more words in French, but I understand Portuguese better, so it will be like easy for me to keep doing Portuguese. So I do want to, I want to continue doing it, but not like devote tons of time to it. Like last week was probably the maximum amount of time that I would want to dedicate to it in a week, just because it's not my priority right now, and it's not really something I can do passively yet, although I do think I'd get to that point fairly quickly. But regardless, so I finished The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in Portuguese. I have not finished it yet in French. I still have, I believe, about an hour and a half to go. So I do want to finish that this week so that I can focus on The Hunger Games. So I have started it in Spanish. I'm actually about 20% in Spanish, I think. I've read this in Spanish before. I've obviously read it in English many times, but it was funny. I almost didn't read this in Spanish. I was almost like, I don't really know if I need to read it again. Like, maybe I'll just listen to it, or, whatever. And then I was like, well, it'll be good review. And then I opened it up and read the first page, and there were so many words I didn't know on the first page. I think it was JC on my last post, or on my last video, that I was like, am I a total fraud? Like, what happened? I think it was just a fluke, the first page, because that did not continue after that. But yeah, I do think it was a good choice to reread this. There's definitely plenty of vocabulary to solidify, and I just really enjoy this series. This is like a die-hard series for me. I will go down with the ship that this is a fantastic series. So I have started it just barely in French, and I do think I want to read it in Portuguese too. The French audiobook is on YouTube, and the Portuguese audiobook is on Storytel. And so I have access to both of those, so that makes it a lot easier and a lot more motivating to read it. Then other updates, I have started Eva Luna by Isabel Allende, which is the Spanish book club book for my Patreon, and I am loving this so far. So I think I'm a little bit over 15%, almost done with the chapters for this week. This is so vivid, so luscious, like very beautiful to read. Other than that, there have been little things here and there, but nothing major. It's been a pretty good week. My screen time did not go down nearly as much as I was hoping for. It went down like 7% overall, but then I did have one day where I had to use GPS, I lost my words, for most of the workday. So it should have been down more like 15%, I think. But regardless, not nearly as much as I was hoping for, but hopefully it's, a step in the right direction. But let me see here. So for the last week, I did almost 18.5 hours of language stuff. About 2.5 hours was Portuguese, about 1 hour and 45 minutes was French, and then the rest of it was Spanish. So that's about 2 hours a day of Spanish, which is not as much as I would like. Normally I'm listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, and reading and doing other things, and so normally I can get significantly more than that in, but I am obviously struggling with focus and time management and everything, so I'm happy with that as a step, but I think I actually am going to keep tracking this week and try to get that higher, because I do think that it will be easy for me to do that. I'm just not like fully taking advantage of time right now. But yeah, this hasn't been a very eventful vlog, I don't think, but just kind of a normal week, a little bit of a reset, but otherwise just kind of a normal week of studying. I feel like I haven't been doing those very much lately, so I want to get back into that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.